Welcome to Real Talk episode 21. I am Brian Rose and we are here live at London Real Studios. We're also streaming on Facebook Live and Periscope, so I got all sorts of questions coming in. This is 30 minutes every week where I answer your questions. You can ask me anything. I've got them on Instagram, Twitter. People from the London Real Academy get, of course, first shot, but now you can jump in. I'm actually live right now if you want to jump in there. But thanks so much for coming. So much to talk about. We had a crazy evening last night. I went to the Royal Society, which I think is one of the longest standing scientific institutions in the world that still exists. It was formed in 1660 by King Charles, and it was really epic to be there. I mean, Sir Isaac Newton's paintings on the wall. And I was there to celebrate an evening called LSD. It was the culmination of about 2 or 3 years, probably even more, of the study of the drug LSD in a small trial of 20 people, and it looked at their brain imaging studies with people on a placebo and on LSD to try to understand what it does to the brain. And Professor David Nutt was there, he used to have a very high-ranking position in the government health area until he was thrown out, and now he works at Imperial College, and the funding is done by the Beckley Foundation, which is run by Amanda Fielding, who's 73 years old and pretty incredible lady. Both of those people have been guests on London Real, and so we just love to support everything they do, and we're a big proponent here of psychedelics and the use of psychedelics in medicine. Huge. And really for whatever personal use. We believe that it should not be a Schedule I or Class A drug. That's ridiculous. It should be really thought of as a potential medicine, and it should be allowed to be used in experimentation. And so it was great to be there and support them. I bumped into Rupert Sheldrake, again, former guest on London Real. Graham Hancock, incredible author. He was there. Got a big hug from Graham. And then Robin Carhart Harris, which was the first guy we had from that whole crew back in the day, who is one of the leading doctors who worked on the study, and he's such a cool guy as well. So I got to speak with them all afterwards and just had a really incredible time. Here's a little bit of a brochure that they put out. Stress disorder support, Brian, on and on. So he's like, Brian, I've also dropped for physicist who actually is amazing conversation real on stage, did documentary, and they were in that, and so it was just awesome to talk with them. So that was great. I hope you've all caught on Monday. Amazing. They're packed into a business. Super pumped to do that. And this was basically week 4, everything that we teach them on how to jack their social media up. And one of our graduates had 5,000 Instagram followers by the end of the course. He's now was working for the man. Now he has his own yoga business. He does private instruction in the north of Sweden. His name is Jacob. It's incredible. Another one of our graduates, Chris Albert, sells T-shirts to former Marines, and he's making mad amounts of money, and he's getting more revenue in now with a quarter of his ad spending based on our social media ideas. So we know it works. So worst case, watch that episode for free. If you're interested in the accelerator, go to londonrealacademy.com/biz. That's B-I-Z. We've got 2 spots left, 1 or 2 spots left. So apply, tell us, sell us why you should be on there. And it's a great way to be part of our network. We do 2 live calls every week with me, just like this, where I talk to you about your business model. And we've got video modules, workshops, workbooks, all that good stuff. So it's lots of fun. All right, let's jump in here. By the way, I got Timothy Sheaf in the building next week. He's everyone's favorite vegan, parkour athlete, now runner. We had Timothy on back in the day when he had short hair. Now we had him back when he had long hair. I don't know what kind of hair he's going to have. Super excited. Loved him so much. This man constantly grows and develops like at warp speed, and that's what I love about him. And so very excited to have him here. I'll put out a video tomorrow. You can leave your questions for Timothy Sheaf. He won American Ninja. Is that contest they do? He's a serious athlete, Tim. Amazing. He does muscle-ups in his sleep. So he's awesome. All right, let's jump in here. Danny, how's it going on Facebook Live? We got crazy questions? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, look, I'm going to do a couple questions that were left to me on Instagram and the Academy. Then I'm going to jump into Facebook Live. If you really want me to answer your question on Facebook Live, put it in all caps and I can see it, and same with you on Periscope. Again, this is all live. If you guys want to hit me up, happy to answer any questions. I was answering a few beforehand. So let's jump in. First of all, RJ Williams from Instagram says, Brian, what is the first marketing avenue you would recommend for someone who has just started a podcast? Is there one? You know, it's a great question. As I said, and I've said many, many times, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, did it fall? My former engineer personality says, of course it did, because that's physics. But I really know that of course it didn't, because unless you promote what you do, it never happened. And so from the beginning of London Real 4.5 years ago, I would go onto Facebook and I would literally graffiti people's Facebook walls with our episodes. This is back in the day when people couldn't even protect your own wall. And I would really literally spam my show into people's profiles in order to get people to watch it. We were ruthless on Twitter. We were ruthless in any way. We tried to get ourselves promoted in any way possible. And you really have to do that when you're starting. You have to get your message out. You have to write blogs. You have to tell your friends about it. You have to tell your family about it. You have to go to any length. You can't just build a restaurant and hope someone will come. And that's what we teach, and that's what we teach in our accelerator course. And it's all about aggressively finding that audience, aggressively pitching them, then find out what they want, and then give them more of what they want. And that comes down to your podcast, or it comes down to your product, to be honest. And you need to really listen to your customer more than ever. And every great entrepreneur is guilty of not listening to their customer, including me. Okay, we all do it because we all have this amazing vision and we think we're right, which is why we're here, because we're so determined. But then sometimes we don't pause and listen and think, well, what do they really want? But if you constantly keep that dialogue up, I believe you will be successful as a podcaster, as a business person, in your relationships, everything. So you just got to keep listening. So I hope that helps, Eric. I hope that helps. All right, I'm going into Facebook here, and I'm going to answer a question here. And here we go. Ramsey Bergman from Facebook Live says, Brian, what 4 things can you do for high performance? Great question. Is he a high performance person? That's what Dan Pena always asks me when we're chatting back and forth about someone. Is he a high performance person? You know, 4 things you can do as a high performance person. First of all, I'll go to something Gary Vee told me when he was in this chair about 10 days ago. And he said, Brian, real entrepreneurs don't complain. And I would have to agree with him. One of the things high performance people do is they don't complain. Because when you start complaining, even when you begin to complain, it says so many things about you that it's really hard to get back. First of all, it puts you in this things happen to me frame in the world. Like I am a victim of things happening to me. It also sets you up into this frame of I'm going to talk about something that has happened and not something that's about to happen. So I think if you eliminate all complaints from your life, I think Tim Ferriss had a no complaining challenge 30 days. Try it. It's no joke. Try not complaining about anything for 30 days and see how that affects your life. And it's a great way to stay positive, to move forward. Because look, you know, in entrepreneurship and in life, everyone takes hits. You know, there's no 10-0 record for entrepreneurs. They all have hits and failures. And if you can stop complaining, that's a big one. 2, high performance, have a physical practice. So important. It doesn't get talked about that much. I move 5 days a week, you know, in a heavy way to where I sweat. I would like to move even 7 days a week, but it's important to move. As Elliot Holst would say, the body is the mind. And so your mind has a lot to do with this body that's connected to it. We forget that a lot of times. We think it's all up here, but it really isn't. And you have to move to just free your brain to be in the right state. And if you made me stop moving for 2 weeks, I don't even think I could even be here talking to you because I'd be so messed up. So have a movement practice. 3rd, meditation practice. So you have to have quiet space, you know, whether that means active meditation, okay, well that's yelling, but a quiet meditation practice. I think that's 3% of the high performance people I know have a meditation practice. And finally, I would say 2 things I'm saying. I would say affirmations, I think that's important, but get things done. That's the most important thing. GTD, you have to have a schedule and a process in place. So when some things come into your mind, you write them down and you have a process that gets them done. Because otherwise you're one of these people that runs around the world and you're always talking about things you're going to do, but you need to actually have a process. And I would read David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, because sometimes it's just as simple as getting things done. And you can say, Brian, why don't you live your life and enjoy your world? But let's be honest, self-esteem is built by accomplishments. You know, relationships are built because they see people that are doing what they love. So if you don't get things done in this world, nothing gets done. So those are 4 things, Ramsey. I hope you appreciate that. And keep those questions coming. On Facebook, I see some all caps. So It's all good. Zachy just hit me up on Facebook Live on the chat. I love it. Zachy was last night at the LSD Revealed event. Dude, I knew Zachy from back in the day, years and years and years ago. So, dude, thanks so much for coming. Yeah, it was amazing that presentation last night, because it was just great to see that we can actually talk about, that psychedelic compound in a way without being so worried about all of the kind of the stigmatism that came with that substance from the 60s and 70s from America. And it really tainted it in such a way that, say, ayahuasca doesn't have the same ramifications and the bad press that LSD has in its mind. So great work Amanda Fielding's doing and Professor Nutt. They're so passionate. They're such a great group. They're like a motley crew. Robin and Amanda and Professor Nutt up there, and they all complement each other in a big way, and we love being a part of it. So that was awesome. All right, going on to a few more questions here. Dan, if you're seeing something, then type it in the bottom, man. We'll jump into that. Eric Johnson says, Brian, 7 years in, my business is not successful. I'm barely making it. Do I have a mental block? I've done Tony Robbins coaching. Great, love Tony. I've taken courses. How do I accelerate and get the lift in attitude to make it right, or altitude and get it right? My goal is actually to get back to much more creative work. I thought I was being responsible by quitting all that and just doing business. Whew. Okay. It's a good question, Eric, and I don't know you, okay, so I can't prescribe exactly what's wrong with you. But I bet if I talked to you for about 2 minutes, I would have an idea. Because again, I can detect frame issues with people a lot of times, even with the tone of voice, about a lot of times they're blaming other people for their lack of success, they're scared to be successful, they're not taking risk, and they're not accepting the truth about themselves and their own shortcomings. That's usually what's happening with people when I meet them. And I can tell, honestly, in about 2 minutes. Posture, tone of voice, what they talk about. Great way. What does Eleanor Roosevelt said one time? That like weak people talk about things, mediocre people talk about other people, great people talk about ideas. And I totally think that's true. And great people talk about the future as well. So I don't know what your deal is, Eric. I just don't know. Look, it's hard out there. Okay, and anyone who says being successful in life and business or anything is wrong. We take hits all the time here. You just don't see them. I get frustrated all the time. I wish we could do more, and we just keep plugging away. So you just have to always keep getting knocked out and keep getting back up. And people don't see that. If you knew what it took, the guests that sit in this chair, to be where they are today, the ones you admire, most of you wouldn't do it. Most of you wouldn't do it. And if I knew what it took to get here today, I'm pretty damn sure I would have never started this journey of London Real. I would have just not even broadcast that first day, because they'd have been like, okay, all this bad stuff's going to happen to you. These things are going to happen. You're going to do these wonderful, nice things to people, and they're going to actually not only not be appreciative, they're going to tell you that they hate you. Like, all these things are going to come in. It's going to be really hard to make this as a business. Da 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 da. And then would you do it? And you might not want to. So all these people take hits. And the question is, are you really willing to take the hits? Are you really investing in your business and yourself? Are you really taking the risk? Do you really care what people think about you? Are you worried about someone thinking blah, 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 blah? You have to be willing to go deep and go dark to be successful, and be willing to be made to look silly or look bad or look desperate, all those things. So Eric, I don't know what it is about you. Maybe we can talk sometime and figure it out. I'm happy to help you. Jump on one of our calls or join the Academy. I think we're doing live calls now with any new Academy members that join as annual members. We do a call. And of course, Business Accelerator, I don't know if it's the right time for you. That takes an investment from you, because we need people to invest in us, because it's a great candidate. People have asked me, do I do scholarships for the Business Accelerator? No, because I want people to pay price to action, as Dan Pena would say. I need you to be invested, because then you'll invest in the whole process. And I find that people that don't pay, they don't invest. So as I tell the now steps, you've got to be ruthless. So who's looking more, talking, exercising. Honestly, all of them are super important to me, as is spending time with the crew here and the team at London Real. They're all an integral part of who I am. I couldn't be who I am if I only moved, because I think I need to express myself. I think I need to talk to new people. I need to challenge myself by talking to new people. I get stuff when I have got to be ready. And turn being productive. Great question. An episode about, because a lot of people out there feel guilty that when they're with their family, they should be working on their business, that when they're on their business, they should be with their family. And I get it. I mean, this is hard, and as Mr. Pina would say, the $50 billion man, there's no work-life balance, there's work-life choices. And I'm somewhere in between there. I have a wonderful family that is so loving and understanding, and they realize that this is what makes me, me. So, Mariana is such a wonderful person because she doesn't feel competitive about me spending time on London Real. She doesn't feel competitive with me spending time with other people. So she just supports me, which is just a huge weight off my shoulders, because if I had someone else that was competing with me or that thought I was sacrificing London Real for them, it would be really hard. For her, for example, on Sunday night, I do my calls for my private courses, TED course now, Biz Accelerator soon. When I do that call every Sunday from 7 to 8, she wants me on that call because afterwards I'm buzzing, I'm chatty, and when I don't, I just feel like something's not right. And so she understands that to be me, I need London Real in my life. So that's really important. What I like to do is when I go home at the end of the day, I like to have dinner with Gabby and Mariana, and I like to just give them my time then. And when I'm there on the weekends, I like to give them my time. And the rest of the time, I'm here, and when I'm here, I'm giving my time to the team and to you guys, and I'm trying to focus like 98% of my time here. I don't screw around here. I don't surf the web here. I don't do any nonsense. I don't do personal stuff here. It's like, and to be honest, the team really helps because everybody here jams hard. And so it's great being around those people. All right, I'm going back to Facebook Live. Anything good here, Danny, in caps? Come on, throw me out a name or something. Okay, Christopher Gendron said, Brian, all caps, love that. It helps with my eyesight. What do you recommend for entrepreneur artists? Great question. I'm around so many creative people. Some people would say we're creative here. We have creative people, definitely. And there's a big issue because a lot of creative people and artists don't know anything about business. They don't know the first step in business. They don't know where to start. And so a lot of the people that go through our accelerator program don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to set up basic ideas of business and online businesses, which is setting up social media profiles, creating free content through vlogs, through blogs, through Q&As that get people then onto your website where you capture their email address, and that's where the sales conversation starts. Most people don't even understand how that happens, which is shocking to me. Then from there, most people don't understand that you have to have a product ecosystem, which is something I learned from Daniel Priestley, where you have free products, low products, never sell something for thousands of dollars. Yes, you can. And then from there, oftentimes there's other products. But if you don't start thinking about this way as an artist, you'll never get from square one because you'll be like, I need a record deal. Like that's the typical artist. I need to sell a painting. No, you have to develop an ecosystem just like a business. And you need free product and you need social media presence and you need all of these things. Marketing, sales funnels, email chains. You need to know how to make a sales call. You need to know how to network with your business peers so you can collaborate together the same way we do with Bulletproof, with Dan Pena, with all of these people. So that's what we teach, and that's super important as an artist. And you need to stop saying, I'm an artist, I'm not a businessman. That's like when Gabby says, I'm bad at math. I don't accept that statement. No, it's a process. You can be great at all these things. You just have to push yourself, stop making excuses, stop complaining. That's that one. So hope that answers your question. Love that. Really good question there. Really good question coming from you guys. All right, we got time for a couple more. Coming on the edge here, 5 minutes left. Let's see here. This is a good one. Philfoot2, what a great name on Instagram. Love it. What if your family is your most negative influence? Dan Pena says to take stock of your group, how do you disassociate yourself from your family, or do you? Okay, here we go. Controversial answer coming up. Get rid of them. Edit them out of your life. It's just that simple. And very few people are prepared to do that, and that's why very few people are high performance and very few people are successful. And I'm sorry to say that, but it hurts. But I don't understand why you would spend time with your mother or your father or your sister or your brother that put you down, that don't support your dreams, that don't want you to be the best you, even if that means outshining them. Why would you want to spend time with those people just because they share pieces of DNA with you? Would you spend time with those people if they were strangers? I sure wouldn't. I don't spend time with anybody who has bad energy. I really don't. I just literally will leave the room and you'll never hear from me again. Because like, my time is my most valuable commodity. I stay away from all of that stuff. I literally won't even tolerate it for like 20 seconds. So edit them out of your life, honestly. And if it means you don't have to talk to your parents the rest of your life, well, then they got to go. Because otherwise, why are they there? I mean, like, really, if they have that negative energy towards you, what's the point? You know, family will always be family, but you got to go be yourself. And maybe they'll figure out by that feedback that they can't be that person around you. But I think you got to get them out of your life, get rid of your friends, get rid of all those people, because they're not doing you any good. And I just never understand when I see people in dysfunctional relationships. Usually it's because they don't love themselves, they don't deserve, they don't believe they deserve better, they don't set those boundaries up, and so they allow this negative energy into their life because these people are their friend, or they've known them for a long time, or some BS. That's just because you're not being real and you're not being honest with yourself. So get rid of them. That's what I got to say. I think I've said that before, but there we go. All right, going to Facebook here. Amen to that from Eric's Faust. Thank you, brother. Let me see. Okay, Lee Sims. I'm loving this question. By the way, thank you so much, Facebook Live. Love you guys so much. We're going to be doing this every week. Danny over here on the video team has been pushing us for these live, and it's such a great idea. So thank you so much, both of you guys. Lee Sims says, is happiness overrated compared to success and fulfillment? Wow. Okay, this is a great question. You know, what is happiness? What the hell does that mean? You know, I don't even know. I think it means that you get to do what you want to do. You get to follow your passion. You get to be around people you want to be around. You get to make choices about your life. Now, that doesn't mean it's an easy day, you know? And I actually don't think happiness occurs without pain and hardship and fear and doubt and all that stuff, because that's how I get happy, when I accomplish something that I didn't think I could do. Quite honestly, that's how I stay happy. Or if I'm around people that support me. But I personally need to be pushing the envelope, or I get bored and unimpressed with myself. So, you know, I always think it's got to be around doing things, accomplishing things, building things, meeting people, giving back to people, making people happy, making people smile, delivering wow. You know, every guest that comes on here is usually incredibly impressed with what we do. And like, that's what drives us here in the team. And you know, Luis spends so much time making these videos amazing. And I think we secretly do it because we really care about the people that come here. They're like members of our family. And like, we just want to show them how much we love them. And we do that through video. And so I think it's all rolled up into one: success, fulfillment, and happiness. And you know, it depends on what success is to you. At the end of the day, if you're proud of what you do and you give back and you make people happy, then that's big. Now, going back to that give back thing, 10 years ago, I would have never thought giving back was an important thing to do. I didn't do a lot of giving. And I didn't understand that it was a crucial component into being a successful human, to give back to a certain extent. And it actually is, just no one ever told me. And so as I get older and wiser, I realize that all of the fulfillment really comes from the reactions of the other humans around you. And anyone who thinks that getting $1 billion and hoarding it and then going to your bank and counting it all is going to make you happy ends up dying a very sad life. And so as soon as you can realize that, in a weird way, we are all one, and that you are really, you know, when you're hurting someone else, you're hurting a part of you, and that we ultimately are all fulfilled by us all being fulfilled. As soon as you can figure that out, it saves you from wasting a lot of time. And when you don't figure that out and you realize it after, say, 10 years of being a greedy banker for a long time, it's a hard, lousy day. And hopefully it'll make you make some changes. And I'm just thinking about the LSD revealed. Somebody asked me, like, Brian, blah, 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 LSD, why do you talk about psychedelics, etc.? Why do you keep talking about ayahuasca, psilocybin, all that stuff? Because I think, and I'm going to end on this, is that I believe that the psychedelics allow you to connect with your why. I really do. I think they hardwire your brain into your heart, and it hardwires you in, and you get a download in about 2 or 3 hours, and it's usually information that you don't want to hear, because your mind is off living this other life. It's living this, I'm going to get all the money, and I'm going to get to this, and then I'm going to be happy. And your heart knows that you need to be doing these other things that connects you with other humans. And so that's why I'm a big proponent, because the psychedelics actually remind you what your why is all about. And sometimes you don't want to hear it, but it's ultimately, many times, the right way to go on your journey. And that's what they've meant to me over the years. So hopefully we can study them more with the help of Amanda, Professor Nutt, Carhart Harris. Love all the stuff you're doing. And I think we got to wrap it up, right, guys? Is that it? All right, that's it. This has been Real Talk. I loved it. I love this streaming. So if you enjoyed it, please join us. Come over on Facebook and like us. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. If you really want more of me and the Academy, join us on London Real Academy as a full member. Like I said, the annual members now get a free startup call with me. And if you're really interested about taking your passion and turning it into a product and turning it into a business and really working for yourself, which is what we do here at London Real, then submit your application. This accelerator program. We got 2 spaces left, and pitch on why you should be. And I'll .com/biz, BIZ